What's going on, YouTube? You know what I'm saying? Families in the building, man. I have the infamous Super Chat champion.
Super chat. Yes, sir. What's going on, everybody? Travis, thank you for having me. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in. We are going to be fired up today. We got I don't know what the conversation is, but it's going to be good. I know that.
Hey, bro. Hey, before we even get started, let's do that customary wristwatch check. You go first. It's your
Absolutely.
birthday. It's your birthday
Oh yeah,
weekend, bro.
thank you, thank you. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
sir. Yes,
I'm using
sir.
that to the fullest, man. I'm getting everything I want for this whole weekend. SNJ025, better known as the Seiko Arnie, of course,
Arnie.
on the left,
Ooh.
and double wristing on the right. I have my Vostok
Ooh.
Amphibia on a Vario strap. That's the only way to go with this 18 millimeter. Let's go. What you got?
Let's go, man. So I am rocking my ball night train. You feel what I'm saying? You know
Very
what I'm saying? I'm,
nice.
I'm, I'm feeling American today, man. I want to. I think we're gonna kick it off with talking about what's going on in America, with the tariff situation and being a collector under these
Mm.
circumstances.
We jumping into
Yeah.
the rabbit hole.
Hey, bro.
It's like the hole
Bro,
after the rabbit hole.
bro. We jumping in, and before we get started, if my man Adam from Fair and Sweat watch this, man, which I'm gonna tag you in this later. Um, Shout out to my man Adam. He featured me on this channel. We just left Minutes and Hours last month or last week,
Hmm.
and it was a great time. Had some man, great energy, man. There was a lot of great watches over there, man. But I asked him a question about, how was this tariff situation going to affect him, right?
Yeah.
And he explained it. I'm not going to, no spoilers. You guys have to go watch it yourself. But then I actually jumped into talking to other collectors about where would this take you? Are you going to you? And I'm taking a word out of yours because I use the word beast in the title because you're like, hey, you gonna feed the beast or you gonna kind of chill a little bit, you know?
Right.
Uh,
Right.
hey, we got Time and Sense. We got DK in the building. Jay Jones in the building. Welcome in. We got like a million people watching. A bunch of WWE fans. You know what I'm saying? If you smell, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, yeah.
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, so what do you want to tackle first about the tariffs, man? Like, are we tackling it from the brand perspective? We're tackling it from the enthusiast? Which way we going first, left or
I
right?
think I think we're gonna, bro. Let's split the middle, bro. We're gonna tackle
Okay.
both sides of this thing, man.
Okay.
So from a perspective, there were a number of companies that elevated their prices, bro, before the night, right?
Right. Right.
And so I got a question for you because, and I actually want
Okay.
to put this on you.
Okay.
Now, yesterday you covered a lot of the affordable section. You did Casio, right? G Shocks
Yeah.
and stuff like that. And I
Right.
know that's been your wheelhouse. You have been tackling, which you've been doing a great job. Your videos are well polished, though. Have to give you
Thank you.
that credit, man.
Appreciate you.
Um,
Thank you.
you have been tackling all of the affordable aspects, but then there's like a hype around it. Like it's not like, hey, I'm gonna get this because it's on sale.
Right.
You actually there's like a purpose behind your purchase with it being on sale. But my question is, where do you go at this point if your, let's say your Casio, your $15 Casio or your $30 Casio go to $100 because of tariffs?
Mm,
Is it worth
mm,
is it worth you continuing to being a collector, being enthusiastic about the brand? Because one, it's not Casio's fault. They
right.
didn't issue this. Where
Right.
do you go with that, bro? Are you still buying or you hold it steady?
So here's the deal. I think the purpose of you going to a lower price point, depending on what your budget is, whatever it means for you, it all falls down to relativity to how you're feeling at the moment, right? Like if I'm really itching to put something new in my collection, and let's say I didn't have the 8E 1200 or 1300, something, well, let's go a little bit more than that. Let's say a GAB, that's $100, that goes to 130, right? Now, it sucks that I'm paying that additional cost, but I'm paying that additional cost on a smaller volume that I normally would on a $500 to $800 watch. So I'm already kind of not saving there, but I'm not taking as big of a hit. And it's all relative to how much can I hold out at this point. All right. We both know, and I think everybody watching knows that when it's time to buy a watch, it's time to buy a watch. And that's why we say feed the
Yeah.
beast, right? So at the end of the day, Travis, it's more like, okay, that's a $30 hit. I can eat that, and it's still a phenomenal watch. Like you said, it's Casio, so I'm okay with that, right?
Okay.
I could pull that, and then I'll save my money to see what happens after the fact. So I think that it's still a good move, and everything is relative to what your budget is. You're then putting a watch in your collection where you don't take too much of a hit. So for me, that's the best option. But I don't want to talk to anybody, and I do want to touch up on. Well, let's talk about the brands increasing their prices, right? I'm not going to spend. I'm not going to take the floor too long, but I'm going to say this.
No, hey,
I,
this your weekend, bro. Your weekend.
I, okay, so my daytime job, I import stuff, right? I import stuff from Italy. So, and I work very closely with the owner, so I understand the rise of cost. I understand having to do price increases all the time, and it could be a little bit of a hair pull when you do have to increase your price. However, none of my clients are going to complain because they turn on the TV, they know what's happening. However, if now someone's saying there's going to be a 90-day pause on that, well, then I just put out another letter and I say, hey, we recently increased the prices. It
Mhm,
looks like there's going to be a pause. I know that this is incredibly frustrating. It is for us as well, but we're going to go
mhm,
back to the pricing because we didn't spend on inventory yet, right? And we're not consuming the transparency part, just like how people want transparency with creators. I think if you're a business and you're transparent to the point as much as you can, which is why Island Watch is wildly successful in what he does, I think that the brands need to do that. They need to say, you know what, I didn't put my $100,000 order and ate that yet. So if they're going to put a pause on the tariffs, then I can go back to normal prices. We'll do business as normal. And I think that that's the best way to move forward with brands. If you already paid that, then you're in a tough
mm,
spot. But you already, but
right.
see, that's the move that you decided to make. So you have to kind of move forward with that and just do the best you can moving forward.
Man, okay, so peep this out. So this morning, I was up early.
Me too.
Yeah. I was watching I don't know if it was Hey Dude, it's one of those guys that he's an affordable watch YouTuber, right?
Okay.
He did the whole entire he was one of dozens of people that were doing the AliExpress. Now, one of the things that he talked about, he was concerned about was the cost of Chinese parts, right? And the watches coming out of China and all the like the tariffs that's already dropped on top of them.
Right.
He was saying that like a third of his audience is from America, a third of his business is from China, right?
Okay.
Because he does the AliExpress, that's where his money, that's how he's able to buy, that's how he's able to, I guess, make a living. I don't know if he's full time YouTube, but there's going to be a good portion of his business interrupted if that's
Mm,
the case. Going back to Adam from Fair and Swift, he actually mentions on one of the questions I asked him, he mentions that, well, because I import parts, even though he builds it in America up in Chicago, he
right.
still gets like his stuff from like Singapore and all these other different places,
Sure.
and that will affect, and I thought about this for a second. If these tariffs, because right now it's just a pause, it's not like it went away. So we don't
Right.
know after 90 days or less than 90 days what's going to happen.
No one does. Yeah.
Yeah, so and it's one of those situations where there's companies I know that went up, right? They're not going to come back down, bro. They're not going to come back down. Like say
Okay.
for instance, your $1,000 watch, right?
Right.
They go up to, even though the tariffs is not affecting them, they bring their prices up to 1,100, and they can justify it now because think about this: like the Swatch Group goes up twice a year anyway.
Right.
So
Right.
now they can just increase and be like, hey, we normally go up anyway. You know what I'm saying? But like now
Yes.
and the uber rich and the people that's in that category, they can buy that. But what about the people that's like, for instance, people that's looking at you, right? They say,
Mhm.
hey, he has Casio, he has this, he's modding, he's doing all these different things.
Right.
But you do touch on, because you said yesterday, I'm brushing up on my luxury watches,
Yes.
and you talk about some luxury stuff, Bell and Ross, or you may talk about Omega or something like that, and you spark the interest of a few people, and they say, you know what, I want to take my dollar to the next level.
Right.
Well, right now, you can buy a Squad for it, what, like $900 if you bought it
Right.
on the secondary market, maybe 650 or something like that. But if you go to the secondary market right now,
Yeah.
they them prices shot up by two
Yeah. You're
hundred
gonna see
dollars
that.
in some areas. Yeah,
Right.
so that my question to Adam and some other people, what does that do for wind up, intersect, minutes and hours, the Philly trade show? Do more people come out, or like do vendors kind of draw back? Because that's a cost for them. Some of these people are paying up to $7,000 for a booth.
Right, right. Yeah, I mean, you can't really project what it's going to do. You don't know what a brand's budget is in doing the wind up. It is incredibly expensive. I've spoken to one of the brands that looked at it, and just a small section we're talking about. I think Christopher Ward pays like 25 grand for what they get their setup. Okay, so you could do
Yeah.
the numbers and the fractions from there. That's a lot of money. And if you're already teetering on, just floating by, if you're not even profitable, got to understand a lot of these companies, a lot of these brands are not even 5 years old. Some of them are not even profitable. They may be able to break even and just reinvest, but they can't afford to take a hit. So are some of them going to pull out? I think that's fair to say for sure. There's still going to be a wind up for sure. We saw the pauses and everything else. I don't think it's going to go away. I think some people individually as a brand, individually as a business. You get some companies that they play scared, right? When things,
Right,
hit the fan, they play scared, they hold back, they try to get reserved. You got other brands that have that war chest that can take the hit already, pretty
right,
much
right.
planning for a rainy day. So we're not worried about seeing them for sure. But is it going to be affect that the shows as well? 100%, 100%. And here's the deal. Here's how I look at it, Travis. I never raise my my pitchfork to a brand for whatever move they want to do. A lot of people get upset, and listen. This is all passionate things. There's a lot of emotions involved with this, so I get it. I don't fault people, but even when somebody gets mad before the tariffs that they raise the price and then it goes from a value ask, I don't even get mad. I'm like, look, you're a business. I'm the consumer. If I don't like your move, then I'm just not gonna buy. And
Right.
that's the risk that they have to take and everything else. So there's no need for me to get upset and write forms and rally against them. That's a waste of energy. Uh, I think that you're going to get your vote no matter what move that you make.
Yeah.
Now, if a brand decided to not come back down, let's realize the perspective that they may have already made that purchase. They may have said that, you know what, I don't know if these tariffs are going to go away. They placed the order because they needed the order anyway, right? They can't delay if you don't have inventory. You're coming around
Right.
the time of spring and summer where people buy. So you also look at it in that perspective. That's all I want to give is that they may not be able to come down on prices because they already pulled the trigger. It may not even be their fault. So we have to let it play out at the end of the day.
Yeah. Hey, welcome in everybody, man. We got
Yes.
Rick
Welcome in.
B, Julius, Luciano. What's happening? Corey, Jay Jones in there talking about he ain't buying anything anymore. Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
okay. He's got
Uh,
something on his porch right now.
right, right, right. You know what I'm saying, bro? And everybody in the chat right now. Sidebar: if you haven't watched that Boulevard story, the 150 years of Boulevard,
Mm,
go check that out. It's on Amazon Prime. So if you're paying for Amazon Prime anyway, it's free for you to watch. If not, I would still say it's worth looking at it because that right there could pretty much curb your appetite for those that are looking. If you are an American made person and you like to collect American made stuff, which we don't have any American made watches, but the name still, like for example, I have, of course, y'all know I got watches with me. I got my Hamilton over here, which that represents American made, and I have something that was worn by soldiers a lot, which is my glycine. You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
mm,
yes, yes, sir.
hmm. Bronzo,
This is one of
bronzo,
my
bronzo.
favorite pieces, bro. This is one of my favorite pieces. But the thing about, like, I was watching that Boulevard, and I'm not gonna get any spoilers, but I'm telling you, at the end of it, I was talking to Kimosabi this morning, and I told him, I said, I can't see for the life of me after watching that documentary why Boulevard's name is not just as big as an Omega or Rolex or something like that. But then I seen that that watch brand has always been one, affordable,
Hmm.
two, diversified, right?
Yeah.
Everybody, like, I'm gonna tell you this: if you didn't know this, being a watch collector, not every brand want to see everybody in their watches. That's
Hmm.
just what it is. You know what I'm saying? Some people were like, hey, you know what? I would prefer to see my watch on an Audi or something like that. Somebody driving an expensive car. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? That's I want to see a businessman, somebody that's suited and booted, wearing this watch representing my brand. and there's nothing wrong with that. That's just, I mean, if that's the criteria you have, and you as a consumer or watch enthusiast, if you take offense to that, I mean, you got to get some thicker skin than that. You know what I'm saying? Because that's just what it is. But I'm curious to see how, like, the more people that watch that Boulevard documentary, and those that are, because of these tariffs, are leaning, if they do go into effect in 90 days, that's going to lean towards like an American built watch, which we don't have at this point.
Mm,
Like 100%. Shinola will be like the closest thing to it, I imagine. Um,
right.
Colorado Watch Company. Who else? I mean, we got some watchmakers here. Thelonious Monk, thank you so much for the
With the
soup.
super chat.
Yeah,
T
bro.
Monk.
Hey,
T Monk.
hey, bro. That you do that, man. That I was cracking up.
Yo, I have no idea where that came from, by the way. I don't know where I got that from, but it was just like, it was just fun, man. You got your little dance, your little,
Yeah, yeah, bro. You know what I'm saying?
You don't do the no more, though, bro. I noticed that. I noticed that. You got to do the.
It's coming. It's coming back, man. I'm slowly getting back into the groove of things, man.
Uh,
Hey,
you're in
I'm gonna
public, though,
tell
so
you
I
something.
don't fault you.
Oh, you know what? Hey, bro, I act a fool. It was somebody that just walked over here. Some young lady sat like right next. So I'm in the mall, right, and she sat
Okay.
right here, and I was quiet because you was talking. And
Right.
as soon as I started talking, I seen her look up at me. She was like, she did one of these, and she walked off, and she mean mugged me, bro. she
Imagine you was doing a dance right then.
she'd have been like, "What is this?"
She
I'm
start
like,
walking faster.
bro, I'm trying to tell
Yeah.
you, man.
Oh, that's
Um,
funny.
but here's the deal, bro. Here's the deal.
Mm.
All right, let's get into the enjoyable part of the conversation. All right,
Yes,
because
sir.
we talked about the tariffs and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And I've actually, my research this morning kind of took me down this rabbit hole after watching the book. Because like when you were texting and doing the thing, I was looking at the Boulevard show, and that's why I was like, bro, you need to check this out because this
Oh,
is
I'm going to.
crazy.
Yeah. Hmm.
Um, I was looking at some other YouTube stuff, but then it made me think. I'm working on what brands would you consider to be iconic because this week there everybody, well, not everybody, but some of the larger channels are doing the recap on Watches and Wonders, right?
Okay.
And I was just in that live chat yesterday. I think that's the first time I ever seen a young man go live, and I was listening to the conversation, and there is so many channels right now that are talking about your IWCs, and some watches that weren't shown at Watches and Wonders, some of the Swatch Group stuff,
Right.
and even who was it? I think it was Breitling. Breitling just dropped a watch that's similar to that parking lot piece that Boulevard did back in the day. Really
Hmm.
nice looking chronograph, by the way. But there are so many watches that are talked about, but there are so many collectors that love to look at that, but they're like, bro, I'm I'm struggling on trying to spend $500 on a watch, let alone 5,500 or 4,800. And I don't think like as far as YouTube, and I'm gonna put this off on YouTube. YouTube always recommends for me, and I can't say this to anybody else. The algorithm always recommends for me people that talk about the high end brands. I have to go and search. I have to literally type in
Mm.
like or Cincinnati Watch Company. And then like it makes me mad when I type in Cincinnati Watch Company, my video pops up. I'm like, I don't want to see mine. I did the video.
Suggesting you to you.
Right? Like, how you want to suggest me to me? Like,
Right.
dude, I get tired of seeing me sometimes. So move. Like, I need to see what else is being said. What is the move? And I'm not just looking for a review. I'm
Right.
looking at, how are people adhering to this? Because I jumped right into the comment section of a lot of these videos. I saw the spoiler alert when you watch. There's a YouTuber that's in that Boulevard. I'm not even gonna tell you who it is. I've watched this guy,
Oh,
but
really?
yeah, there's a YouTuber in there, and I was like, he mentions that his grandfather was either his grandfather or great grandfather was a part of building or had to be great grandfather, the Empire State Building, right? And I
Mm.
was like, yo, that's dope. So they put him in the video, and I've watched a number of his videos. He's always talking high end stuff. He talked about Watches and Wonder stuff,
Right.
but I don't know. I just feel that there is a need for more. of the affordable brands to be talked about because there are some like for example, I brought another watch that I haven't shown in a while, my Citizen piece, which
Okay.
is on a nice like the strap that came on it was like I didn't like the strap. It was some low, it was trash. So yeah, I had to go shout out to Kokomo, man.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. FKM rubber,
Nice.
man. This thing is beautiful.
Very
But
nice.
inexpensive,
Right.
limited, right? It's not a limited number on it. They only did like a limited production. And like one thing about Citizen, they never put the number on the back. So they said,
Mm.
hey, it's gonna be out here for a little bit. Um,
Good luck.
yeah. But the thing about it, this is a beautiful piece, man.
Yeah.
Artistic. If you look at the dial, man, it's like I get this thing in the sunlight. Oh my gosh, it's you'll be. You know what? This is one that'll get you in a car accident. If you got it on your wrist, you look it down, and you driving, oh, you're crashing off top.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
Absolutely. No, it's very nice. Yeah, man. And I think, I think you're getting suggested a lot of those Lux brands because you do a lot more research than I do. And I'm sure you watch certain creators or you get your research, you do your research. Maybe you're just researching a particular brand that's luxury or a particular watch, its history. And, listen, that's the robot being the robot, right? Like YouTube sees that.
Yeah.
And they know that that's more wildly popular with enthusiasts and not enthusiasts. Just there's people who love those names and will follow some of the content because of the name itself. So I don't, or I haven't done that nearly as much. I've only followed people who talk about anything but because it's just not my natural interest. Of late, I'm trying to brush up on that because I know at the end of the day they have significance in they paved the roads, right? So no matter
Hmm.
what you say, you got to give them respect for that. And I
Yeah.
do want to
Yeah. Yeah.
slowly brush up on my skills for that. And I think it's a good time for me to do that when I am taking a pause from buying watches, which, by the way, I got one on the way for my birthday, thanks to the missus. But really excited about that. It's gonna
Ooh.
be a brew. It's gonna be a brew. So I finally put in another New York brand.
Oh.
Yeah, yeah, had to do it. Had to support my man
Okay.
Jonathan.
Okay. Okay.
Um,
Okay.
but I think
Okay.
that, yeah. So when you go on YouTube, know this, and you may be watching this, and you may be a to collecting. If you go on YouTube and the first thing you typed in was Rolex or Omega or whatever, and you watch that content, oh yeah, the robots are going to give you nothing but that because that wildly skyrockets. If you took
Yeah.
the most popular web brand, right, and it doesn't even have to be a web brand, it could be an independent brand too, right? Oris is a big brand, they're independent. Uh, but if you took an Oris brand and you took like their best performing video up against the other names, it's not even close. And YouTube's just following how big that wave gets. So that's just how it goes. Dude, I could count on one hand how many people do high end brands that I actually watch their content and sit through a whole video. And so the
Hmm.
robots know like that's no good for me. They always show me AliExpress or a web based brand. So yeah, but it is what it is, man. And I think you do an incredible job integrating that. And even though we do talk about a lot of web brands, watch enthusiast brands, you still bring them into the mix, and you do it in a very healthy way. And I love the content that you create for it, which eventually led me to say, you know what, it is time for me to brush up on that knowledge and be able to make that part of the conversation because it's relative. It's relative, even if you think it's not. I think they all go together.
Yeah. They do, man. Okay, so who is that? Ask Skyler what's the talk of town over his way regarding watches. It's Breitling his way. So in your area, I mean, you're in New York, bro. Like, what's
I am. Yeah. So that's the thing with New York. It's like there's such a mix in that pot, right? It's not like a focus. Like in New York, it all depends on your perspective on New York as well. Where are you? You know what I'm saying? Like, are you like Brooklyn, Queens, or are you like Southampton or Manhattan? Like, dude, that's two different breeds of New Yorkers altogether. We're still all New
mm,
Yorkers for sure, but what's on the wrist is wildly different, right? So the talk of the town for me, there is no talk of the town. I'll be honest with you because I don't have anybody that in real life I vibe with like this, which is why this is very important to me, right? The people, we always say it, the people is the most important thing. So to be honest with you, I watch Chris because he's in Brooklyn and I'm looking at what he does, and he does something very similar to what we do with the affordable
right.
brands and the independent brands and all that stuff too. So he has some higher tier in there as well, but for the most part, it's all web-based brands that he's interested in. He watch Chris likes to get the exclusive stuff. He loves bringing a
Yeah.
watch or presenting a watch that nobody has, and That's important because he's got the size of a channel to be able to have the interest of somebody to do that. So I watch him a lot for that reason. But yeah, man, the talk of the town. I wish I could give you more. I'm very sorry especially when it comes to luxury brands, because that's not my circle. But I can say that in general, if we're talking about buying, oh yeah, New York slowed down too. New York slowed down too. Everybody's watching their pockets.
Mm,
Everybody's watching their pockets.
mm.
It's expensive in New York, bro. It's expensive. You talk about a studio cost you $2,000 a month. A studio. Talk about your kitchen. You're standing in your kitchen in the living room at the same time. Could be two
God,
grand depending on
oh,
where you're at. So I mean, watch the watch fund. It's not for everybody.
yeah.
They don't have it like that. Yeah, yeah.
Man, bro, that's crazy. Okay, so before the show, I literally just left Reese Nichols, right? Reese Nichols is, if not the largest AD here in Indiana, right? They last year acquired Block Pond and I think last fall they acquired Black Pond and Doxa, right? They already got
Okay.
Shinola, they got Oris, they got IWC, they got Tudor, they got Rolex, Breitling, bro. They got a number of brands, right? And their showroom is beautiful. Then they got the jewelry on one
Mm,
side, man. So I went by and looked at Doxa. I'll drop those like some pictures of it later on today or something like that. But what ended up happening was they took me on a tour around it. They doing stuff a little different. Normally you walk in there, they just speak. Are you here to see anybody? No, I'm just coming here to browse. They walked me through, and I was like, okay, it's cool, whatever. But they're having a watch event in 2 weeks. 2 weeks from
mm,
today, they're having a watch event on a Saturday, and I normally go in there. I want to go in there and just talk to the reps, get some information and stuff like that. I may or may not record. It just depends, because they kind of iffy about
mm.
that. So we'll see with that, like how that's concerned. But I know that like between them and Moyer's Jewelers, bro, people are still buying. They're buying like there's one Omega sold every day, according to these people. There's 2 to 3 Breitling being sold per day, right? And which I mean that's a good thing. It's a good thing. But then I've been curious because we have these brands that pave the way. You got your Hamiltons and stuff like that, and of course, Rolex is like the marketing giant. But my question, and I'm going to ask, and I've been asking this for a minute because I'm slowly working towards who I think are most iconic independent or micro brands, right?
Okay.
So, for example, I actually got the newest acquisition here with me right now.
Yeah, that's fine, bro.
Yeah,
That piece is fine.
yeah, that sucker boy.
Yes, sir.
And man, when supple, oh,
Yes. Very nice.
yo, when I tell you the leather on this thing will remind you of a leather jacket, man, like a motorcycle jacket, bro. That this thing
Mm.
is stiff, but not to the point where it's not wearable. The break in, and when it break in, I know it's gonna break in just right.
Copy.
This dude did an amazing job on this watch. Off top, bro.
Yeah.
I absolutely love the design of this watch. But I consider him to be an iconic brand for the affordability, and he's giving you so much because I literally just looked at a Doxa sub, right? That was all it had the forged carbon on it. It's $7,200. Beautiful watch. I mean, that thing is beautiful. High beat movement. It's ready, but that was on a rubber. It was on a rubber strap. It was on a
Mm-hmm.
rubber strap. Is the watch is gorgeous,
Right.
but that's 7 grand. Breitling, Breitling does that two-tone thing. You know what I'm saying? One color on this side, that color right there. The yellow, I think that's beautiful. But like, okay, Breitling, you're gonna spend about what bare minimum of 5 G's
Oh yeah.
for one of their pieces, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this guy comes in with a high beat movement. Miota's proven. Now it's noisy, and it is once you hear a little wind in one way. But outside of that, the characteristics of this watch is amazing.
Right.
Like just look at it, the aesthetics, bro. Anybody
Yeah.
that's into sports and racing and stuff like that, whether you like boats, motorcycles, or whatever, perfect watch, I would say, for an enthusiast.
Yeah.
But my thing is, I'm curious what brands like that you've come across. What do you consider? And I know Casio is a given. What do you consider to be like an iconic brand that you've dealt with that you know about right now? That's
Uh,
let's say that's been born in the past 10 years.
ooh, that's been
Hate to put you
born
on the
in
spot, but
like no, like within the 10 years, like it could be
within the
four
ten
or
years,
five.
yeah, within the 10 years, who do you
In
think?
my
Like,
world,
yeah,
I'm gonna say something crazy. People might be like, "What are you talking about?" But I mean, all encompassing. Like, you know how I feel about the watch enthusiast brands, right? I would
yeah.
say all together collectively, I would say Studio Underdog. I would say,
Ooh,
yeah, I know
ooh.
you wasn't expecting that answer, but
No, I wasn't.
in the time frame, like, I'm not saying it in a perspective where it's like you see Studio Underdog on the wrist as much as, like, let's say, a Seiko Citizen. I'm not saying that. I'm saying within our time frame, right? We're watching his brand is like living through history. It's like the moving and the shaking that that young man has been doing, and the
Yes.
and the collaborations that he was already able to achieve. Dude, he's four. What is he? 4 years old? Like, and for him to put the design factors that he did from the beginning and make it work, dude, he's like a shade of color away from making a disaster, but he hits it on the money every single time. And then he's doing stuff to the movement early on, right? You're getting a regular Seagull ST 21, I believe, but it's a modified one already. So I mean, I want to get and again, I know people weren't ready for that answer, but I feel like for him to do a collaboration the way he did with Moser, Fierce, I mean,
That's what
I
I'm
gotta
talking
I gotta
about.
get, yeah, dude. I'm like, yo, he's skipping steps. He's teleporting, just boom, boom.
God, dog.
You can't catch Richard, bro. He's got the pizza thing on. He makes exclusive watches just for the show. He takes his collections and he they're wildly different. Right? You got floating
Yeah,
screws on one, and then you got a watermelon in another. Then you got a loom dial with feet. I mean, dude, I don't think people realize how fantastic that is, because I've seen other brands try to do it and they get the backhand immediately. So I'm going with
bro,
Studio Underdog.
bro. Listen, let me tell you something. With Studio Underdog, when I went out to Chicago last year and I was looking at it, for those that don't know, he was serving that pizza watch up in a box in a hat like a chef, bro. Like,
Yeah.
I said, yo, who
Right.
does that? The presentation was everything, bro. And I kept thinking Ninja Turtles, right? And I
Yeah.
was
Oh,
like,
imagine he
yo,
did
that
that. If he got the cosign for Ninja Turtles, he was woo.
bro, I'm
Okay,
thinking
okay.
Ninja Turtles, man. And listen, man, you better let's strap in real quick. If anybody take offense to this, whatever. I like when it with the watermelon watch, I said, yo, I want to buy that, man, just to go to Kentucky Fried Chicken and get a cup of Kool-Aid, bro, just to wear that watch. And you know what I'm saying? Like, for real, bro. Like, yo, I said, yo, this is it's a crazy thing, right? And I'm
Yeah.
not like the pineapple pizza thing, the Hawaiian pizza. I don't like that, but I think that was such dope. Then he had the omelet
Yep.
thing. I'm thinking breakfast. I said, you know, I can get that watch, man, because man,
Yeah, I
y'all
forgot
know I
about
pull
that.
up and have
Yeah.
coffee all the time. I'm like, yo, this is so his watches. Yeah, yeah. I didn't expect that one, and I have to jump on board with you, bro. Like that was yeah, that's an
I'm
iconic
saying.
brand.
I'm
That
saying,
is an
dude,
iconic brand.
if you take any other brand and you just say what you, bro, he did a theme with like rotten eggs and the whole egg edition, like you said, serving it with pizza pots. Imagine any other brand doing that. It just wouldn't work for them. So not only did he
Nope.
created his own category, I feel like, and then he was successful with it. So that's why I went with Underdog, and I'm excited to see where he's going, man. And like I always say, these watch brands become like teams for me, and just seeing what he did out the gate and how he's been full steam ahead. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with him. And I know nobody was expecting that answer from me, but knee jerk on the
Nah.
spot, that's what I came up with. So it's just how I truly feel. You know what I mean? Somebody mentioned Brew too. And listen, I got a Brew on the way. I love
Excuse me.
Jonathan. I love Jonathan. I think he's got a big range as well in his watches. I would have maybe considered him when I made my answer. However, he has kind of played it safe in to some degree. Like, he took that retro and then he expanded that with different designs. He's now going into other adventures. I love his brand, and I am biased for sure. I'm not even gonna lie to you guys. Like, the fact that he's in New York for sure, but
Right.
I also went to his pop up shop, and when I tell you I had white glove service, bro, from him himself. And then
Really.
his team, yeah, dude, he opened the doors early for me. Didn't know me for a hole in the wall. Didn't recognize me, of course. You know, I'm not a big YouTube guy, but he saw me. He wasn't really ready yet, but then he was like, You know what? Come on in, man. He saw my enthusiasm. Oh, I know you, Jonathan, right? And he's like, yeah, come on in. I spent like 45 minutes to an hour, just him and me before
Wow.
people even showed up, dude. Jonathan's a gentleman. I know why now. Long Island Watch vouches for him. He's a gentleman. He makes you want to buy the watch even if you hate his watch. And guess what? His watches. Now, some people get turned off because they're quartz. I'm telling you, if you feel that way, touch and feel his watch, change the time setting on it. It hits different. And the way he just composes the artistry inside the watches itself,
Right.
very, very nice. So I had to put that in my collection. And yes, I did it because he's in New York, and it's such a New York watch, dude. Like a coffee themed watch on your wrist. Let's go,
Yeah.
baby. New
Hey,
York
you know
stand up.
that's my.
Anyway,
Well, I would say that he has to be doing something right because there is an Amazon.
oh, I
There's
saw
a
that this
fake
morning.
one. It's a fake brew watches, bro. They like $30, bro. Like, and so I went to YouTube to look and see if anybody's reviewed them. Right, I almost bought it because it's like $30. I want to see it, but I was like, I looked at the review. They look good, right? And I was
Mm,
like, yo, that's crazy. I said, but then it made me think like when you have a micro brand that's being homaged like it's a Rolex, you gotta
yeah,
be doing good. You have to
exactly.
be doing
As
good, bro.
annoying as it is, and I know it hurts the business like overall, it's not going to destroy you, but it hurts. But at the end of the day, it happened to Studio Underdog too. There was AliExpress watermelons popping up. When you
Yes,
have these things popping
yes,
up, you see what I'm saying? I wasn't
yes.
even thinking that way when I brought those two names up, but you see how it becomes validated by the fact that you're getting cheaped out with these cheap things, cheap clones. It's like, yeah, that's crazy, man. They're using his pictures, the brew. They're using his pictures and sending people a watch that looks like it, and that's not the same watch, obviously. So that's not
That
nice.
is wild, bro. You know what, Ramon? I'm gonna tell you something too. He mentioned Aragon, right? Aragon
Mm,
put. He's been Wing has been doing that. I want to say 30 years. He has been chugging at it, man. He just dropped a an all ceramic piece, right? It was all I can't remember how many colors he had, but I saw a black one. It has an NH35, and I want to
mm,
say it was like he had a 50 millimeter, either 50 millimeter and a 45 millimeter.
okay.
I would love to have that watch in a 40 millimeter with a Miota with like crazy loom. And I think like if you like like suggest that to Wing and enough people say, yeah, I would get on top of that, he'll make it. And
Yeah.
somebody had mentioned the other day that like there's no other companies that's doing ceramic dials at I mean ceramic watches, the complete watches at low cost. And I'm
Right.
like, well, no, you're not looking because Wing, some of the designs, like he was doing the carbon fiber and all this stuff, like early on. Like
Right.
some of the stuff that you're seeing now, Wing has been doing this for a long time, but he is more of a word of mouth company. You know what I'm saying? And I would say just on the strength of I'll put it to you like this: when Walmart came, start popping up everywhere, your local mom and pop shops start going away.
Yeah.
He's the last of a like a breed, a dying breed of
I get it.
entrepreneurs, and I would say for me, I would consider Aragon to be one of the most iconic brands out there at the cost, and he stayed true. He loves his fan base, the customers. He respects, bro, and that's why I can get behind him. That's why I got so many Aragons in my collection because I just love the way his customer service is second to none. I'm gonna
Right.
just say,
Right.
and that's the other thing too, bro. Do you think that some people when they attack or approach watch collectors, you think they consider like the warranty aspect of it, like the long term, or do you think it's like since we talk about feed the beast, or do you think people will just buy a watch and get it, like it, and then they own to the next? They're not considering the maintenance. They're not considering, what I'm saying, like the long term with their watch. They don't give a chance to like when you taste the wine, just what I'm saying, let it breathe a little bit.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think you brought up a problem that we all have, dude. I think you almost have to force yourself to appreciate the collection that you already have. Because how many times do I buy a new watch and then like a month later it's like it's already gone. You know what I mean? And that's wild. That's crazy. I think
Watchman 54. Yeah, my
Watchman
bad, bro.
54. What's going on? No,
Yeah,
you good.
no, he in there. He said
Customer
customer service
service.
is very
Yeah,
very
yeah,
important.
yeah. And not even on the warranty side, like the customer service is everything for me, especially. And it also means like, how do you talk to me when I come to your table at the show? Or How do you talk to me when I'm asking you questions about your watches before I make a purchase or something like that? Like customer service, I can like if Watchman 54 told me, "Yo, Sky, I bought a watch from Aragon," like how you just said, and he goes, "Yo, man, that customer service is crazy." I'm looking at Aragon. I already do, but I'm using an example. Like customer service can catch my eye, and it can make me lean into potentially buy a watch far before I even see a watch in person. Just saying, that's fire. Yeah, there you go, there you go,
Yeah, yeah. Hey,
there you
we
go. And
representing up in here, bro.
and here's the deal: like Aragon, I don't hear them talked about nearly as much. Um, I don't see them represented as nearly as much as far as like getting in front of YouTube, having your watches reviewed. There are some people out there, but I don't hear it as much. And I'm saying that as a compliment because here you are, and here I've heard so many people be behind Aragon in a very strong way. And he's not, putting on all those shows and doing all these things to stay relevant. It seems like he's like, dude, I've been building this building before that was even a thing, right? YouTube, watching reviews and stuff like that.
Yep,
So I give them flowers. I don't know too much about them. I would like for us, and I'm not going to spill the beans too much, but I will say this: Travis and I are working on getting creators together. And maybe what we need to do is listen to the people that we have in chat right now, listen to the people
yep,
on what they want to see. And then as a unit, we contact these companies and say, hey, look, this is what the people want to see. We got 5, 10 creators behind us where we want to work something out. It's going to go round robin to all of us and stuff like that. Because somebody like Wayne, somebody like Aragon, I feel like should get help and a push if people are going by them this much and saying that the customer service is good, the warranty, everything else is good about the company. Then I'm tired of certain brands just getting only the spotlight when these brands are doing a lot of the service and a lot of the right things behind the scenes and should be rewarded for that.
yeah. I agree with you wholeheartedly, bro. Oh, thank you for the compliment of the beard, bro. I'm glad you noticed. Uh, so you know what? I'm gonna tell you this too. Outside of that, like one of the advantages of going to these micro brand events is really getting to know these people. And y'all know that I would like when I first learned about Laurier, I was literally coming into getting. I would have never thought that I would wear a watch under 45 millimeters. Like I was
Mm,
so accustomed
mm.
to wearing bigger pieces, and I saw this one right here, this Neptune 4, and I said, okay, I gotta get this. I gotta check this out. Um, and Lorenzo and his wife, dope people. But Lorenzo was so hyped about people just being interested. He lost his voice during the show. That was like almost 2 years ago. And I laughed. I said, "Man, this dude is really passionate about this brand." Of course, you're supposed to be passionate. Like, bro, it's for example, you're a product, you're a brand, right? You're Skyler Santana, and then there's
Mhm.
Wifey. And I know if Wifey, just tell Wifey, I say, "Hey, Wifey, thanks for taking care of my guy on his birthday."
He's probably low key in the
But
chat. Go ahead.
so, so as a brand, you're going to always be excited about what you do. Like I told you
Mm.
before, you're polished. The information you give is amazing, man. I can just like listen to that. Like I can kind of detach myself from being cool with you, being your boy, and just listen to what you're doing. Like, okay, like I'm
I
at
get it.
church. You know what I'm saying? Like you preaching, and I'm listening. I'm like, all
Appreciate
right, Pastor, Amen, Pastor. You know what I'm saying?
it.
you know, what I'm saying? It's one of
Yeah,
those things, right? So when I say and I ask that question, and I stand on this, I believe that this will be another brand that will reach a level of iconism. I'm just gonna say iconism. I know that's not a word, but I'm using it today. I just feel that like they pay attention and they don't approach it like because this does have accents of Rolex and Omega, Black
hmm,
Pond, like all these different ones, but it's a work watch, it's an enthusiast watch, it is a consumer based, it's a web based product, it's all of the above.
right.
It's checking boxes. Oh wait, hold up. Skylar thought
Patel
of
Philippe with
Archie.
the super chat. I love it. That's how we
I had
gonna
to
do
put
it. That's how we gonna do it from now on.
that. Yes, sir.
Skylar, thoughts on the Archie eating 30 Lewis, devouring 5 Lewis vintage? No, 30
God,
napkins.
dog.
I mean, I don't listen, sir. That's if that's
Sheesh.
true, that's true. That's wild. I don't have much thoughts on that, but that's funny as hell.
That's crazy, bro.
Oh, he went to watch. Was it Watches and Wonders? Yeah, Watches and Wonders. He went there and he was there with Archie, I believe, too. So he's
Yeah.
letting Archie have it for some reason.
Yeah, hey, I was listening to I was on Archie's lab listening to it last night, and they got it like they ended the show. They was talking about hip hop, and he was like, let's just end the show." I was cracking up. I didn't say nothing else. I was laughing. I was like, "Yeah, this is so funny." These guys like you go from talking watches to hip hop, and it's like,
Hmm.
"Hey, this is not our area of expertise. Let's not touch this." I was I was laughing so hard, bro.
Hey,
Oh
listen,
my
man.
gosh.
It's a little bit of a slippery slope over there. It's a different style, I would
Yeah.
say. You know what I mean? But I listen. I watched his Watches and Wonders and stuff like that. They were like in little chapters and stuff like that. I watch everybody, man. I watch everybody. I got love for everybody. At the end of the day, you're turning on a camera and you're somewhat talking about watches, so it's not an easy thing, no matter how or the direction that you decide to take on it.
Yeah. Let me see, Watchman, that's why he gets the business he gets.
That's Jerry Jones Watchman. That's why he gets the business he gets and doesn't really advertise.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we got you back.
Okay, hold on. My
Vincent
darn
H is
phone
in
rang.
the building.
Buddy just called. I'm like, bro, what the heck you
Man,
call
we
me
you got to
for,
you got it's,
man?
it's not it's not a trap live unless it happens at least once. You know what I mean? It's almost like
Hold on,
part of
bro.
it.
I'm gonna have to.
Did we lose you on sound?
Okay, there we go. I gotta take these
Got
off.
it.
So what happens is if I get a phone call in the midst of this,
Um.
my earbuds go off, and it was one of my buddies, man. So he gonna catch it because see, all right, I'm gonna say this, Denise, get your husband. Get your husband because I know you're watching. He's not watching and he's not paying attention to that. I'm on live. Oh, open your eyes, bro. You got some big eyes anyway, bro. So yeah, I'm calling you out. Call me again. I'm gonna say your name on live, bro.
Uh-oh.
Say
Jay Jones with the super chat. Appreciate you, Jay Jones.
yeah, appreciate that, man. Hey, man, we got the birthday boy up here, Skyler Santana, man. Um, which I always appreciate, man. When we can do these lives, bro, because your perspective on watches is very interesting because you cover some amazing topics and like you really kind of started this because I was watching a couple of your videos. There were some other content creators that kind of fell in line with what you were talking about.
Mm,
And I do believe that, like from the affordable side of the house, um, I think that one is the way. And I'm just gonna say this, and this is based off of just with the whole tariff thing looming over our heads. And that's not gonna stop you from wanting to buy watches. That's the thing. You're gonna still want to buy a watch, right?
hmm
But where does that go? Because if you call yourself going to AliExpress, but AliExpress turns into like, well, the price is still AliExpress. They still gonna give you the same product, the same
hmm
construction and stuff like that, build or whatever. But now the prices are twice as much, or like a third of the cost is going up. And well, that is that enough to keep you there? Because like one of the things that me and Kimo Sabi, Long Ranger was talking about was heritage. Some
hmm
people can care less about heritage. They don't shop based on heritage. But I
Right.
feel that uh, as a watch collector, I'm gonna say this. This is my personal opinion. You guys can disagree if you like. I feel that even if you buy a lot of budget brands, if you go to AliExpress, I think you should have at least one watch, at least a bare minimum of one watch in your collection that tells a story about horology, right? Some type of story. For example, I'm going to use this as an example, like my example. If I don't buy another watch, I have a watch that was worn by a lot of military men, right? And by me being a veteran, it connects me to people that have sacrificed it, people that never came home, people that
hmm
died in their watches. You know what I'm saying? Like I think about all of that because
hmm
I serve with people and I know people that didn't come home. I trained with a guy that didn't come home. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, not 7 days before we was coming home, lost his life, right?
Oh
Yeah,
man.
yeah, bro. And that was a tough pill to swallow when we got home and they presented the flag to his mother. But that was the thing is these watches tell stories, right? Now,
Yeah.
you got the Cincinnati Watch Company and this Hamilton. The Cincinnati Watch Company actually filled in a space that there was, I can't remember the name of the company, but there was a company before Cincinnati Watch Company that dates back to like ball watches, right?
Right.
But it tells a story about Cincinnati. Here they come with a watch that rivals this. But one thing I can tell you, Jordan, puts these watches through the paces as if he is chronometer certifying every watch. He
Okay.
does a pressure test, he does the temperature test, and he tests this thing in 5 positions. I sat and watched him. This watch right here is running 2 seconds per day, fast. Right?
Okay.
That's what it is on this one.
That's really good.
My I don't have it with me. My Travis from Dufresne is running 1 second per day.
Yeah.
He regulated that thing. And then I have which I think is amazing, that Texas brand.
Jack Mason. Jacques Masson.
Check myself. I have been peeping
Jacques
you out, man.
Masson.
I've been no, I'm gonna tell you a brand that I've fallen in love with, bro, is Vivianico. Like
That's good. That's good. You got it.
you like, I've been practicing, bro. I've been practicing.
Bro, I've been preaching them from before people were doing reviews like that for them.
Yes, you have.
Uh yeah, listen, I think what you're saying, you brought up a lot of good brands, not just them. But yeah, dude, I mean that's just what you get when we're talking about web-based brands. I mean, you get a whole array of different things and ways they run about it, but that's when I really learned how far the rabbit hole goes with them when they doing all these extra things to their watches that the higher brands are doing as well. It blew my mind because I'm like, wait a minute, how do they have the budget? How are they still this price? I thought all those things cost that much, and it turns out that you're paying more money for heritage and you're paying more money for overhead and everything else. And listen, that's just what it is. Here's the deal, dude. And I'm not saying everybody who buys luxury is within this category, but literally realize this: there's people out there that have so much money that they just need to spend it. Like they can't even burn through the money that they have, right? So for you to, if that person's your customer, you could pretty much just charge whatever. So some of that, is a part of that charge, right? It's not all of it, and that's not everyone. And I understand that. But what I am saying is this: when you get all those features within a watch and all those things that they're doing, all the testings and all the regulations to the movements and everything else, it's phenomenal. And you get a strong range of what people are doing inside of their watches. And that's what makes it so exciting. And that's what I love the most. Was that another super chat by Patel
That's
Philippe?
the super chat.
With
Waiting
the
on you.
super chat again. Oh snap! A zombie
Hey,
apocalypse. You can't take a quartz because it attracts the zombies. What are you trying to rely on to survive? A sundial, bro. At that point, I don't know.
hey, man. Um, you know what's crazy? I don't have it with me, bro. But I'm taking my Seiko land turtle with the compass dial on that joke.
The
I'm
land
going to war
turtle.
with it.
That's mechanical, yes.
Yeah, that's the one I just got
Yeah,
with like three
I
weeks
got
ago.
you. See, you're
Yeah.
screwed though, man. Because all right, you could probably find some batteries with the scavenging and stuff like that, but like the mechanical watch, dude, what do you do? What do you do when it needs a service? And how do you know when it needs a
Bro,
service?
it's an NA35, bro. That thing can last forever, bro.
That's true. If it's a zombie apocalypse, I don't have 15 years. It's gonna outlive me. That's true.
Right, right, bro.
That's
Like,
great.
hey, man, listen, man. Uh, mechanical watch, no solar.
Mechanical
He said
watch.
that's solar cheating. He said it's cheating, bro. Hey,
uh,
wife, you going out? So, we
huh?
got you got a whole lot of birthday wishes. Everybody's happy, wishing you
Oh
happy
man.
birthday.
Yeah, I saw that, man. Thank you guys so much for the
You know what
happy
I'm
birthday
saying?
wishes. I really do appreciate each. I was reading it, but it's hard to fit in all those things. When me and you are going back, we trying, y'all.
I
We need a third
promise,
person
bro.
in the background as a moderator for that. We love you guys. We want to respond to everything. It's just
Yeah,
realize that it's hard. It's hard
I'm
to
telling you.
balance everything.
I told you that when I text you. I said, bro, this gonna be one, bro. Because you said I'm on the. He's like, I'm having a Red Bull. I had my coffee this morning. I got to sit with my daughter. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah. No, I
Yeah,
didn't even get
bro.
the Red Bull, man. Listen, here's the deal. I know a lot of you be making fun of me with the Red Bull. This is my energy regardless. Don't think
Regardless.
I'm getting this from the Red Bull. I'm like this. I'm high beat and everything else. The Red Bull is just for me to like, I want to give you guys 200%, not even 100%. But this is me on no Red Bull at all. Coffee's been drank at 4 in the morning. Like, this is just so much fun, man. I really do love this. I really do love this. This is
Yeah.
what it is.
So you got Skyler at Super Saiyan level, right? But then hit the Red Bull, he's going Ultra. You know what I'm saying?
I go
Like
ultra.
Ultra
Yeah, you don't even
Instinct.
see me move. Just.
Hey, bro. Yeah, bro. Hey, so we got a little bit of a couple minutes left, man. Before we
Yeah.
go, is there such thing as an exit watch, bro? Is that a thing? Is that a thing?
Man, no.
It's
No,
not,
the
bro.
exit watch is the watch they decide to bury me with. I don't know. It's never gonna stop. Nah, for me, if it is, if so, like, how could there be an exit strategy, bro? That's like saying, all right, I'm gonna launch you off into space, and your exit watch is you finding the escape route. There ain't no escape route. You're just it's over already for you, man. You're just floating. There's no way. So for me, there's no exit watch, dude. I could slow down. I went 4 months, y'all. I went 4 months. I made it to April. I didn't buy a watch, and I only bought two watches because it was my birthday, and I'm getting a brew because the white boy. But I can slow down. To say to stop, I mean, I wouldn't want to, and I don't think I could. For me, the answer is nah.
Hey, you know
What
what?
about
This
you?
is a very interesting year, bro, because y'all know by now I'd have had at least 20 watches, right? You know what I'm saying? A bare minimum of 20 watches by now.
Man, I'm
Bro, like,
calling you out, bro, because you started the year just like me, talking about, yeah, I'm buying straps. I'm not buying no. And you held out for a little bit, but man, when you bought the first watch, you were like this, shing, 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 and you didn't buy one damn strap. Oh, yeah. I ain't see one brand new strap, G. I'm sorry, I love you, but I'm your real boy, and I'm gonna call you out when I gotta call you
oh,
out. I ain't see one damn
well,
strap.
listen, wait a minute. I did get some new straps from
You
you.
lying? They probably
Yeah,
and they
yeah.
and they still in the plastic. That's all I'm saying. Yo,
Hey,
you're funny, man.
listen, that's besides the point.
Nah, but I chuckle, man, because I get it. Because when when I said, look, I'm gonna buy a little snacker. I'm gonna buy a G Shock, right? Travis,
Right.
when I tell you, when I made that purchase, ooh wee, to close that door back again. And I ended up getting two. I was supposed to just get one. And then I was like, Urban Gentry told me that this is discontinued. I gotta get this. And dude, I was on Laurier's website. I want to bring them up again real quick. I was on Laurier's website again, and I was on Brew's website, right? And the wife handed me her phone, and she's like, "We're gonna order food. I need you to pick one." I said, "Babe, you know who? I mean, we've been together forever. Just choose." She's like, "No, no, no, no. I need you to choose." Turns out she had two websites up of two different brands. She's like, "Choose one." I chose the Brew.
Okay.
My point is this, dude. Like, I get it. Once you start, it's not easy. There's no such thing as an exit watch for sure. But I want to revisit Laurier real quick because I was actually on their website and you were giving them flowers before, and I wanted to say and I forgot. On their website, they actually give you the behind the scenes of
Yep.
why they used each move. Yeah, I haven't really heard anybody say that. I don't know if you've said that in the past, but they give you the inspiration. They give you the reason why. Like, we could have done the SW movement series, but here's the reason why we didn't do it. They're actually using a chronograph from Seiko, and
Yeah.
that's not typically used. And they actually have a thinner profile. So there's a lot more to Laurier, man, than meets the eye. At least it was for me. So I love them, man. I love them, man. One day, one day, one day.
Yeah. And I think it's well worth it. I do want to cover this, but tell with the hey, super chatting here, bro.
Patel again with with the super chat. Yo,
Thanks,
Patel got a
Mateo.
bankroll, bro. He can keep going. He gonna tire me
Hey,
out. I'll be sleeping in this after the end of the line. Super chat.
and I'm over here like,
Yeah.
hey, bro, I'm gonna tell you what. Okay, is there a difference from exit and grill watch? Ooh, that is
Mm,
an amazing question because I would say that if you say that you're getting like this is my last watch, this is something that has been on your radar for a long time, right?
right, right,
And for whatever reason you didn't get it, um,
right.
be it there's a number of reasons, right? Like maybe it wasn't available,
Mhm.
right? And maybe you didn't have the money for it. Maybe you didn't. Maybe it was like it wasn't tariff free. So you said, "Nah, I'm good."
Right.
And I don't know, but I'd say they go hand in hand. I'm going to say they go hand in hand. A grill watch versus an exit watch, but then there's no such thing as an exit watch to me, because like an exit watch is the same thing as um, the Grinch being set like a real Santa Claus, right? Like that's a real thing. Like you're
Right.
gonna see the Grinch as Santa Claus coming down your chimney, even if you stay in the projects with no chimney at all. It will be a chimney just form out of nowhere. Like I don't believe in the exit watch, so I'm
Yeah.
yeah. I don't know.
Well, listen, dude. Even the grill watch. Some people there's gray area with that too, dude. Some people feel like a grill watch is a watch you're never supposed to obtain. It's supposed to be something out of your reach that you it's just crazy astronomical. And then some people feel like a grill watch is something that should be hard for you to obtain. You know what I mean? So it's like it all depends on how you define it. I feel like you should be able to purchase your grill watch. Otherwise, why do that to yourself? Yeah, I want to watch that's 250 thou wow. It's like, whoa, whoa, you're never gonna get that. So, I mean, listen. I want to talk to for everybody. Maybe somebody wants to level their game up so much that they can't afford it. God bless you. Go do your thing, boo boo. But for yeah, man, for me, I think it should be something that you have to maybe save your chips for at least 6 months, and like you have to be vigilant about it and stuff like that. And it still has to be a responsible buy. So that's my definition of grow watch. I think you should be able to obtain it. And even still, dude, like it, yeah, exit watch is it's a unicorn. It's a Bigfoot. It's I mean, some people believe in these things too. So it doesn't exist to me. Exit watch. Exit
Yeah.
watch is the watch that they decide to put on me when they bury me.
Hey,
That's my exit watch. Because
hey, it,
I'm gonna be double wristed when they do that. By the way. Oh yeah. Oh
God, hey, listen, man.
yeah.
And you know what? You gotta have a pocket watch too in whatever
Oh
suit
yeah.
you're wearing. Yeah, you
Oh
gotta
yeah.
have like so
Hmm.
there's three. That's the trifecta, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, that's what it is, bro. I think,
Absolutely.
for the rest of the year. So like let's bring this plane in for a landing real quick.
Copy.
For the rest of the year, bro. The rest of the year, what are your plans watch wise? Are you
Mm.
holding, are you holding, regardless of tariffs or not, are you
Mm.
holding for something special, or you just, you just want to enjoy the hobby, like, you know what I'm saying, through
Yeah.
just looking at other stuff, or do you have a watch or two in mind for the rest of the
Okay.
year?
So I'll tell you what, man, there's a very good reason why I decided to hold back this year. It's not just a financial thing, although that was part of it. Um, I also wanted to appreciate my collection, but I'm also getting to a maturity I feel in my body about my collecting journey and where I want to go with it. And I can sense that I don't know where I'm going next. I don't know where I want to go next confidently. And one thing I've learned in business is if you don't know what to do nothing. And if you have the time, take it. So what I'm doing now is just that. I'm going with my gut when I finally decide where I want to go. I'm sure that windup will be something where that's going to happen, but I don't know if I'm going to go dial. I don't know if I'm going to go with innovation. I don't know if I want to go with both of those things or just a complication that I don't have, right? So I think that the best move for me is enjoy what I have right now. And then when I get that feeling of knowing where I want to go fully and being confident in that, hopefully it's buy wind up. But I've also told myself, dude, just because you're going to wind up doesn't mean you have to buy a watch. Like
True,
it's
true.
okay to be enthusiastic. It's okay to enjoy your collection. It's okay to live vicariously through other collectors. So that's my answer. How about you?
Skyler, walk a few blocks. I'll see you at watch time in the fall. Okay. I said it, no more watches this year. That was 15 watches ago. Next year for sure. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Okay, so for me, um, I'm a little different. I have identified with some brands that I consider to be significant that aren't that's not talked about. They're not popular at all with overall when it comes to YouTube, even though
Okay.
they do have a following. Sal Baltimore is one of those watch brands. I really love what he's doing and what he represents, and that's one of those things where like how people felt the innovation was happening during the 1900s, like that run between I'm gonna say 1832 to like
Mhm.
1953, the like how the insurgence of watches, the newness and everything, people were getting more hype about having watches. Ladies, even I can't tell a story. Go check out Bolivar's 150 years of Bolivar on Prime.
Mm,
But I'm at that point right now. Some of these watchmakers are considered to be like the ancestors. They're doing
hmm.
something major, right? And yes, they're using some off the shelf movements, but they like some of these guys and gals are actually modifying their watches, the movements,
Sure.
based on the customers, right? And what
Yeah.
they like, what they envision with the watches. Some are giving longer power reserves. I think this was pretty dope putting the actual power reserve meter at the 9 o'clock. I thought that was
Love
like
that.
I've never had that
Love that.
complication. And this is where I am right now, and I don't want to add a lot of watches. So this year, um, my watch tops like that's not the watches that was given to me. I was gifted a few watches this year, which I'm appreciative of Kokomo and
Hmm.
Vinzianico. I appreciate them for sending these watches in, and even the collectors that sent watches during my time, like when I lost
Yeah.
my son. I appreciate you guys for that. But I'm really focusing on like the entrepreneur, and there are some, and I'm gonna tell you something. After watching that Boulevard special,
Right.
I am inspired to put a particular Boulevard in my collection, and there
Really?
will be one. So I'll probably end the year. I said five, no more than five. I'll probably that I've purchased myself maybe seven watches this year, but I'm not gonna spend a fraction of what I spent last. Like last year was ridiculous. Last year was
Okay.
ridiculous, I'm past that point. I don't want to do that. I will never do that ever again. You know what I'm saying? And granted, I love collecting. I love, what I've seen, what I've experienced, and I would love, if I had the money, I would love to support more entrepreneurs.
Of
If not,
course.
buy watches for other people. I don't necessarily have to have it in my collection, but just because I believe in that dream. Was it Moles and Co? Very impressive. The young lady, 20, she started when she was 20 years old.
Wow.
She's had that company for 3 years. Jody just released a video saying I was wrong about this company because he's mentioned before
Yes.
that. Yeah,
Hmm.
and I was like, I remember watching that video, and to see this young lady, to see these models, and I'm like, this is amazing. So I definitely, that's where I am right now. If I'm not buying it, I want to put the word out that these companies exist. So that's where I am right now, bro.
Perfect. Yeah, and I'm with you on that, man. And that's why I want to get some minds together to really represent the companies that need to be represented. Just because you're not buying, you can't. You can still be a part of the market. You can still be helpful to the brands. I want to be supportive of the brands that need it, especially in the times that we are in now. So that's a good point. What DK saying something? What are you laughing
He
about?
said, Trap identifies as someone who don't buy watches and buy any more watches. Get out of here, bro.
Course you gotta come in. And yeah, man, my number. I guess my number is gonna be well. What watches that I purchased? I've got two under my belt. They for my budget, they're super affordable. I was looking to keep it to between three max. I want to say three max, right? So I bought two, but the big watch, I don't know, dude. I don't know. I'm at the point where it's like I gotta really feel it to do it. I'm not just doing it just because I'm like, man, the year's almost up. I gotta put a watch in my collection. It's not
Oh
like that
yeah,
no more.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
It's not
yeah,
like that no more. You know what I
yeah,
mean? It's
yeah,
really like I gotta be feeling it, and I gotta know which direction I'm going with. So
yeah,
where I'm
yeah.
at, baby.
And I might have another one coming
Oh, yeah,
pretty soon.
you know you do, man. All of this was for you to admit that. You said
Well,
all that just to be truthful on here. Yo, you kill me. You slay me, dude. You funny. No, but congratulations, bro. Like that Zellos
yeah,
you just got, dude. And I was talking about Zellos, and I think the one that I reviewed is still in the market. But when he came out with that, I knew for sure, gone, gone, gone.
yeah,
That piece
yeah.
is fire.
I don't even have to. I mean, I'm going to do a review on this watch, but I'm telling you, from every like I wore this thing all day. I slept in this thing, and the leather is amazing, man. This thing is literally like his idea of this
Yeah,
watch. It is sports car inspired, supercar inspired, bro. Like this is like the same leather as like if you ever been in a high end sports car, bro. Like I've been in a
yeah,
couple. This identical,
yeah.
identical to that, man. Anybody that's a sports car enthusiast, and I know people on Watch Crunch, I can't remember the guy. Somebody had posted it that day. He was the first person, and he has a version. So this is a GT. He has an LT. I said I didn't even know that was available.
Was it
Like
JC watch?
may have been, but like, bro, I said you gotta watch. His is all orange, and he got suede. And I was like,
An exclusive
what?
one, right?
It's exclusive.
Yeah,
That's
he's. I
exclusive.
think it's JC. You got to get invited to that. He's all about Zelos. Yeah, I think he's the one that had it. It's crazy the stuff that he does.
Listen,
Zelos, it's
bro.
crazy. And
And
listen,
that's I can
he
get behind that.
you've mentioned it before too about Zelos. Like he comes from the world of collecting luxury, and what he wanted to do because he was trading watches from very early on. Dude, he
Yep.
created that atmosphere for himself. Dude, you know this. His watches go for more money after the fact. And what
Yep.
happens is he created his own Facebook group of people who trade watches just like they do with the luxury watches themselves. So, yo, and I'll tell you what, when you do that review, and you put that thing under a microscope, dude, there was things that I discovered that were so subtle about the diver that I had, but it showed a very mature designer and a person who's listening and coming from a watch enthusiast world and mastering the perfection in it. So I'm sure you're gonna
Oh,
uncover crazy stuff about that watch that
bro.
subtle, but it's there.
Listen, I've already started the review, bro.
Um,
Like, so this
okay.
review is really going to. It's I can't, bro. I'm gonna tell you this: the very idea of this watch. When I
Okay.
put out what I researched so far on this watch, that's
Yeah.
not even covering the watch, the concept of the watch.
Right.
So this review is going to be a lot different than anything I've done because it's
Mhm.
going to be similar to what I did with Nomadic, right? It's going to be a
Okay.
review that tells a story about like, and I can only just imagine what he was thinking. You know what I'm saying? And I talked to him on Instagram. He's very responsive, by the way.
Yeah.
Um, bro, I'm telling you, hands down, this watch so far of all the watches I bought this year, the
Mhm.
best, the
I believe
most.
it.
I'm gonna say the best option that I could have gotten this year. And there's one more watch that I'm gonna add to my collection that I've been looking at. That I'm gonna take a page out of DK's book. It's been living rent free in my head since I known about it,
Yeah, he be saying that.
bro. Like, hey,
Yeah.
this thing, man. I had a dream about this thing, bro. I had a dream that I went to a meeting or something, and I looked down and I had it on my wrist. That's how I was like, man. I woke up, man. I was like, I started crying because it wasn't there for real. I was like, oh my gosh,
That's funny, man.
like, man, if only you can manifest the things in your dream sometimes, because
Mm,
some you don't want to manifest what you. That's for another video.
right,
But
right, right.
yeah, there's three watch companies this year that I really. This is one. Zelos was one. The other two, we'll see. One, of course, it's non-negotiable,
Okay.
non-negotiable, right? And the piece that I do have coming is a homage to a piece that I say is one of my favorite watches because I'll say this. I know that, people were behind me getting what I'm saying, this one piece. And right now, when I'm looking at uh with my son, let's just say this.
Mhm.
What happened to my son, my perspective on life has changed a lot, right?
Right.
Um, doubt is tragic, still dealing with it. I'm gonna deal with
Of
this
course.
for what I'm saying, a lifetime. But I looked at stuff so much different, right? And I'm one that's not going to invest in, even though this is a hobby, it's a passion of ours. I'm not willing to invest that kind of bread unless it's given or situation. Something has to be different. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not going to focus on getting that because there's things that need to be done with the rest of the kids, the grandchild. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm setting up for her
Understood.
future and stuff. And I was like, nope, I would I
100%.
wouldn't dare because the watch companies, they're here for us, of course, and we love doing this. But
Sure.
as the owners, especially of the major brands like the Rolex Corporation or whatever they are, um, their families are taken care of.
Yeah.
We're just
That's a fact.
consuming. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? And like my family, man, means so much to me, man. And I'm like, nah, I can enjoy this hobby, but like not to the point where I'm going to. And it's not. I wouldn't be broke trying to do it, but I'm like, I start thinking I can drop $4,800 on this watch, or I
Mm,
can make sure that my grandbaby goes to college. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? That's just where I'm at. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So, man, bro, you got any closing statements before we get up out of here?
Oh man, closing statements. Nah, man, just really grateful, man. This was a lot of fun. It always is, and I'm already looking forward to the next time we could do this.
Yeah.
For sure, I appreciate everybody who's watched us on the live, but I know there's a lot of people who watch the playback. We love you guys too. And until the next time, I'm sure we're gonna have a great subject to tackle again. And Travis and I, are working on things behind the scenes to make this a thing, but also expand on it and also work on things that are gonna help the community out as a whole. That's what we're always going after. That's what we value. So that's going to be our mission statement, and it's never going to change. So,
All right, yeah. And with that being said, hey, bro, I'm gonna hit you up in just a second as soon as we close this live.
copy.
Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you guys enjoyed this. You know what I'm saying? Hit that thumbs up on the way out, man. Make sure you follow my man Skyler Santana. You know what I'm saying? Mr. Super chat over there. You know what I'm saying?
Super chat.
It's his birthday weekend. I appreciate everybody that that donated to him, man. You guys are amazing. You guys will make this thing run. We can't do this without an audience. You know what I'm saying? Because we'd be looking crazy in here with like zero watching. But
We still do
we
it, but
appreciate y'all, man. Yeah, bro. I appreciate everybody, man. And I hope you find the watch of your dreams at the price that you're willing to pay for that thing. You know what I'm saying? And enjoy life, man. Don't take life so serious. You know what I'm saying? Just enjoy. So until the next lightning strike, man, y'all be blessed, man. Yes, sir.